afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Holotny Ferma here between Anders fighting for the Wehrmacht for the Reich, for the Kampfgruppe Bernhold, fighting with mechanized assault. Actually, here, assault gun is immediately called in on the field versus Ltbaumy fighting here for the United States of America. For the 4th Infantry Division, tasked with clearing out this small area with support from a combat group. Something I can't remember the specifics, but the Americans had a system of basically sort of detaching armoured elements, sort of attached wherever needed from the armoured divisions. Anyways, we've got Rifle Company here, we got Rifle Company, we got the Rifle their training course then available. Bulletins are all Rifle here for him, versus all Grenadier bulletins, well, infantry bulletins there for Andres. Andres, thanks to the assault guns, thusly actually starts out with a bit more troops on the field there, heading northward towards the fuel point here. We do see some reactions there under the command of Baumy there, taking a point. MP40s there blasting away at the re-echelons. Moving up to secure the territory there. Grabbing some points being secured. Meanwhile, got the centre there, some munitions and fuel here. Going for some of the higher value pots on the map. We got Rifle there, Rami, got the 1st Veteran Rifle Company arriving for Lieutenant Baumy. Veteran to 2 already. Good roll of the dice there for him. The regular Grenadiers there arriving for Andres. Pioneers under fire. Northern fuel pump being slowly secured there by the assault Grenadiers. Would like to have been a more of an improvised formation there, since the Germans, in terms of organisation, weren't really sort of keen on equipping units with MP40s. That was more of a Soviet thing, and to a lesser degree an American thing. The Germans, not so much. If they would have had, they'd sort of been either partly Jaegers, I believe, might have had some. But I'm less certain on that. Otherwise, Volksgrenadier units could have had them occasionally if they couldn't, for example, get assault rifles. And those were basically for those assault rifle equipped units, but they're more likely just to have rifles there. So, some details there. Some details. Pioneers here versus the Riflemen. Moving up here to deal with the Blighters. There we go, the Pioneers have been good work there with the Riflemen up close, with the MP40s Riflemen going up, or Grenadiers going up with their Car-90 kids on the right squad there, flanking Grenadiers to fall back. Pioneers could try and push it here, go for the goal, that'd be a bit risky. Assault comes up north, trying to sort of secure more territory, could try and add it to the actual combat here. We got a 3rd Grenadier squad there arriving, could try and flank up here, that might actually do good there. We got Riflemen actually falling back here, a Rifleman falling back. 3rd Grenadier squad there, no turn, maybe getting MP40 here for Andres, and we got another rifle squad here for Baumy, this time only veterans here, 1. Notice they're flanking in. Versus the Rifle, there go Rifle closing in there. More Grenadiers moving up. From there, taking some damage, they're already down to half health. They are making short work of the Grenadiers as well. There we go, very low health, very low health. We could see them pushed off there, we could see them heavily pushed off, and there we go. Also, of course, note, while they are certainly ultimate veteran, they will also feed a lot more experience thanks to that already. So, there we go. Almost right, almost right. Pioneer should focus them down. Assault this could try as well. No! Anders is not doing everything he can in his power to annihilate these Americans. He is a disappointment to the fatherland, and a bit to common sense as well. I mean, there was slow health left. They had it maybe rushing from the soldiers, or even the Pioneers, he probably could have wiped them. Sitting now sort of rushing forward here with the units already depleted versus Riflemen, who are definitely not depleted. Here we go, nice focusing down by way of the assault Grenadiers. Easy tie. They do get also 1 kill actually, because they're doing the most of them actually. Almost wiped, almost wiped. Grenadiers then continue to falling back. They need to fall back. They're already low on health, low on numbers. Scheiße. Get out of there. Being behind only Feldwebel, Heinz's squad there. Pioneers need to get out there as well. They are also low on numbers. But still, Andres keeps on fighting. He keeps squeezing as much out of his units here, pushing it to the limit, and in fact beyond the limit. We could see a wipe here, retreat! Veterans he won there, almost got the rub there, got a retreat there! Balls of steel there on Andres, balls of steel, though it could still bite him in the eyes. We've got MB42 there finally arriving for him, MB42 finally arriving, Grenadiers moving ahead, Pioneers there. They barely make it, I mean, some very aggressive play there around Andres. Very cool though, very cool. And I don't think it's because he's just in the winter here. I mean, that was definitely some very, very cold and calculated play there. He was basically sort of hedging as much as he could. They're sort of trying to do as much damage with as few units as possible. And it actually worked out to a certain extent, partly because Ltbaumy, who's actually paying attention to the rifle and allowing the pioneers to do a bit of damage up close and showing they actually end up so far having killed more than the bloody assault grenadiers. Can't help but the assault grenadiers might feel a bit awkward about that one. And the fight there continues between the grenadiers and riflemen. MD-42 moving up, assault grenadiers are leading the assault. South there being secured by the United States Army. 3 riflemen so far. We got our lieutenant there running then for Ltbaumy, a lieutenant. Got the MD-42 moving up there. Need to be careful, they need to be careful. Southern point being secured. Need to go about rushing in your MD-42 like that aggressively, and there we go. Taking up positions in the church, taking some losses out in the open. Dieter cut down. And fans joining in there as well. We got Canadians flanking in though. You could consider taking up, getting some rifle grenades here. That might help it versus rifle. Right here though, that kind of flank versus rifle, not so good. Then particularly there's no cover for the grenadiers. Then the ultimate scene is very quickly forced someone to retreat there. MD-42 blast, we got the church assault that's continuing down here. They probably would have better actually to try and pull off a flank there. And we got a flamethrower on the way there for Ltbaumy. Flamethrower on the way. That might actually give the assault grenadiers a bit of a surprise. There we go, moving up there, of course they're going to take some fire, and there we go. Old Lady Jürgen bursts into flames. There you go, they are doing some damage to veterans you want, but there you go, further loss in, there you go, Lieutenant with the BA on the Thompson, they're arriving. The rest of the assault do get pushed off the field. We've got an ambulance there to help fuel up the troops. Northern point, they're about to get harassed here by Anders again. We got the pioneers there, they can't, I think, easily get close to the rifle without something else. And before to the blast, we get the lieutenant. Troops there reinforcing, closing in a veteran 2 for 1 Grenadier squad. I do not think he's actually tagged up. Rather risky there, rather risky. I mean, if he's getting hit by an M20 now, he could be in trouble. So far, there's no sign of that. I suppose he could also play bolter here and actually go for an M15A1, which could be a lot more punishing. Or I suppose he could try and aim there for a 50 caliber machine gun. But here there's the lieutenant there, of course, with firepower superiority, tearing apart those grenadiers there at range. That BAR certainly adding a bit of firepower there to his merry band of men there. Grenadiers taking losses down to 2 men, Rather than getting to find up north, we got a fuel cache going up here for Ltbaumy. Interesting position there, not a bad one, They're showing he's getting more fuel as well. Good. Grenadiers arriving. Assault grenadiers not helping there. Instead, they're heading up to support the MD-42 team, securing the centre. Good try and flank up here. There we go. Return there, having a very nasty encounter there with the MD-42 and the assault grenadiers closer halfway to Victory 2. Northern point there being secured. Nothing further going in the base, still no tag up. I suppose right now you could even try and instead going for a mechanized assault group. I mean, that could in theory catch Lieutenant Ltbaumy here a bit off guard, but that might in fact be a bad idea. Now we got an air half tick away that could easily sort of end up, well, blowing it apart and killing the infantry side. Rumbling up, and that definitely does not end up happily there. Most of the there wiped out, only Corporal Dennis managed to make it out of that one. There we go, quick flame for a burst there. It limits a lot of the assault grenadiers, really proving how potent it is. Before they're closing a bit to each other, but some heavy casualty there on both sides. Small engagement there for the centre. And there you go, he does bloody end up calling in a mechanized assault group. He does call it up their 250 half-tank, the squad of Panzer Grenadier inside there. The 251 was actually a half-tank net for reconnaissance battalions, more specifically the infantry complement of such a unit for a Panzer division. Panzer divisions really wouldn't have that. So, little fun fact there, While there were sort of meant to sort of aid the armoured cars in the reconnaissance battalions, they half the time also just used as regular Panzer Grenadiers just as well, and they were generally a high quality sort of kind of troop. We turned him up there at the top there, continue to find there for the fuel cache, and there we go, we got the M15A1, they're running there for Lieutenant Ltbaumy. Lieutenant needs to go in there, go, he's quick to make a run there. MD-42 Grenadiers moving up here, Grenadiers finding versus riflemen down there. More riflemen heading northwards there. Ltbaumy pushing forwards there, and there you go, MD-42 fighting in very close to X-1. He might have a slight chance there, being forced the M15A1 into the line of fire, the incendiary pitching out. There you go, X-1. There you go, moves it. No, he's trying to get the rifle there, but he's actually taking heavy damage there. 37mm gun there, tank through the half-tank, leaving only Paul Fritz there alive. The rest of his unit blown apart as they fail to get out. And he's leaving the MD-42 behind at the front line in a blizzard. Now that is definitely, I feel, some very poor decision making there by Andres. I mean, he's got poor visibility and then allows the immune to get close. I mean, I can see why he might do it again. He can do some damage. The problem is again, if he gets the kind of kill like here, which can happen quickly, I mean, he's not going to finish off there. Go instead, he's managed to handle the MB42. He was close. It could have worked, but he needed an infantry. He needed something to sort of draw it into instead. The damage is basically temporary, and he actually managed to enrich his opponent with an MG42. So that was a poor tactical decision. I mean, again, I can see how Andres could have been determined. Again, he's got some very cold decision making, very aggressive, and sort of take advantage of sort of small mistakes there. I can recognise it partly because, you know, I tend to sort of play a bit like that myself, sometimes very much like that myself. But you also need to recognise just, you know, sometimes when a bad idea is a bad idea, and even an MG42 like that is a bad idea. At the very least, if you're going to leave that in the front on its own, you should have popped it into a building, not out in the open, in a blizzard. Stugi arriving. Bit of a crutch play there by Andres, I believe. I don't even think he's tagged up yet. No, he hasn't. Bit reckless there in particular, but there you go. Of course, this will probably be a lot rarer after the patch. Since, of course, I mean, with the Stugi having a slower rate of fire, obviously it's not going to be quite that potent, even if it does get a bit more health. So it's not quite going to be so reliant, plus, of course, some elements that have been buffed for the surge, and the next course means there's going to be a few more bases there for sort of countering the Stugi as well. So it's definitely going to be a bit more tricky. There you go. Bazooka, he's very quick to sort of call that one up to sort of try and counter here the Stugi. Swift response there from Ltbaumy. He's actually got a very small force in comparison to Andres in some regards. He does have a lot more infantry. They're obviously not quite nearly as elite here as the US infantry. Yeehaw! Lieutenant Hastings about there, Stugi keeping watch of the centre. Veteran to one there. Seems like he was unable to extract his M1501 while the soldier can easily kill there. We got another veteran to Rival Squad there being pulled up for Ltbaumy. Pioneers sneak about there. Now, the assault players actually managed to catch up with the Pioneer squad. Feels a bit awkward. Of course, they do have more experience on them. There you go, good hit there with Bazooka. Holding up the church there. And there you go, Lieutenant Forster. You got Panzers there being upgraded with Panzer. Clearly, I mean, he's knows in terms of command points, his opponent's probably close getting the EC8s. So, of course, he wants to get some anti-tank, so he'll deal with that. And, of course, Panzer is one option there, since he already had the Panzer Grenadier there.
Weather has cleared. Return to normal operations.
So, quick anti-tank team formed up. More riflemen moving up with bazookas in hand. Got there secured. And Grenadiers hit some deep Scheisse from the MG42. Stugi getting ready again for some fighting there. It's still damaged. He's not really fixed it yet. Might want to consider doing that. I mean, if you got more bazooka shots, then that Stugi will definitely be a Stug no more. Still, he has not checked up. He seems to be sort of relying fully on his doctrine here for all things above tier 1, which again seems aggressive and again to a certain extent, at least to me, rather reckless. Southern point then is caught, and there we go. EC8's available there for Ltbaumy. He calls up one immediately here, rolling up there with 76mm higher velocity gun. Churchy under fire. Panzer could try and deal with it. Northern point then secured. Assault is moving up for the northern victory point. Victory points are slightly to the advantage there of Andres at the moment. There you go, got a larger infrastructure right south. Pioneers need to go away. Pioneers need to get away. Zurück. And there goes Stugi reacting, but there you go, quick shot there from the bazooka. Once more, we actually got another bazooka here, so clearly Ltbaumy is not taking the Sturmgeschütz threat lightly, and of course equipping his men with further bazookas there, sort of keep it a bit of bay. And there we go, we actually see that Andres is forced to pull back Stugi, and there you go, easy up north, annihilates the Grenadier squad. Utterly annihilated. They are the Panzer Grenadiers, but they can't quite get easily up here to a shot without getting exposed and taking some nasty hits there from the Sherman. And at the same time, Ltbaumy's not interested in sort of charging it too far ahead there without aim for support as well, so there's a good reaction there, good tactical sense. Rather than just hold watch here with the bazooka inside the church. More forces running up south. Give fighter detail and the rest of his unit there holding watch, waiting for the Americans to walk into line before opening fire. Line of sight. There we go. Moving up there. Light machine gun up there. Rifles singing away. Bazooka's opening fire there. Misses though. Misses. Of course, the light machine gun does need to take out. We do see a light machine gun as company. No grenades here though from Ltbaumy, no grenades. They got another gun squad there with machine guns. Now we're seeing a lot more firepower being added to Andres finally here versus Ltbaumy's troops. And there you go. We do also finally have grenades here. I think in this case the smoke screen might have been a bit better suited to recover the retreat, but there you go.
Has released a tiger for our use.
Johnny makes it back home, at least this time around. There goes Sherman flanking in. Immediately shattering the coach the Grenadiers were hiding behind. Maintaining position here, Panzer was basically forming up an anti-tank position inside the church. You could try and clear it out and take that one as zone. That would actually probably make it a bit hard for the Sherman to move out here around the centre. Or he could try and use the Panzers to sort of knock out the fuel cache there, and it does help Ltbaumy there with a lot more fuel. Well, not a lot, but some more fuel. But there's a lot of trouble there, flamethrowers, BARs. A lot of nasty there. Second squad of Panzer Grenadier here for Andres. Interesting, interesting.
Enemy forces are securing our
Still
territory.
moving ahead again there, halfway towards Victory 2.
Grenadiers standing by.
It's an assault gun, not a tank. Don't rush it in forward. Platoon money up there is you've got the Stugi, oh not the Stugi but bazookas, and the AC-8. Damn, this engine again, that did not last long. Panzers they're almost wiped out. Do see one Panzer they're connecting with the Sherman rifle, they're moving ahead. Need to be careful though, lots of shots there. Bazooka was fired at Germany. Between stick they're taking lots well. Pioneers getting Victory 2. 9 kills, 9 kills. Assault guns by the way also annihilated it seems. 10 kills. Deutschland, quick grenade, they're going to just falling back. Pioneers going to do what they can here from the cover. Shermans, everything else last at them, but they keep fighting for Deutschland. Rifleman, there we go! Rifleman annihilated, a bit of a loss there for Ltbaumy, who's floating a bit on manpower. They could of course quickly replace them. It's more like there, I suppose, was there wasn't a bazooka there dropped for the Germans there to secure.
Panzer Grenadiers.
Enforcing, very close to Victory 3 there. No tech up from Ltbaumy, nothing to further add to the proceedings at the moment anyways. Showing the machine repairs, a bit reckless there, they're so close to the enemy front line. There's a few up there as well, spreading out forces a bit. Panzers taking up in the building. Good hits there on the Sherman, Stugi moving up again. And there we go, Veteran 2 here for the Sturmgeschütz, Schützen added on the Stug 3 Model E, which really didn't see much action in the later stages of war. Most units that would have had it would have basically been training units that would find themselves sort of to the front line to sort of fight there. Otherwise, the Stug E would have seen very minimal action at the front line by 1944-45. East and west. MT-42 the reclaim though for the Wehrmacht. Small victory there for Andres. Lots of Panzerix there being launched, so he's basically gone for 4 Panzerix now. That's actually quite a few there. Not so what you see so often nowadays, but looks like here Andres feels a bit like a return to the olden days. The Panzerix were many. Oops, not entirely sure what's going on here. Seems like a brief hiccup. Oh, gets a good hit there. Right, sorry about that. Not entirely sure what happened there. Anyways, we got veterans running here for the Sherman. 14 kills scored against the damn dirty crabs there. Grenadiers closing on Victory 3. Using Anders building up a larger infantry force essentially. And he's probably going to be playing for the Tiger now, which of course, I mean, after the patch here on Tuesday will obviously be also a lot less common. Due to basically, relying on Tiger is going to be a lot more difficult since you're going to call in one at a time. Stugi moving forwards there, MT-42 going to set up as well. Quickly, schnell, 9! Don't keep moving with it, Anders. There's also in pretty bad positions. He's setting up everything out in the open there versus Lieutenant. We do have a bit of light cover there from all the deputies. There we go, quick grenade! Almost got the MT-42 cruise Sherman out. We got a second Sherman here running for Lieutenant Ltbaumy. A second Sherman. More armor there, we go. S1 fuel laid up there, but doesn't quite work. No trying to target weak point there, I think there for the Stugi. That's a bit of a missed opportunity. Could have maybe stunned. Oh, he did actually try, but he failed to penetrate. That's also fair enough. Panzers there go.
Enemy attempting to steal our sector.
Panzers trying to get closer, they're not quite succeeding.
Panzer Grenadiers.
With some nasty losses. Moving ahead there. Bit of north. Once again, my sincere apologies. Not entirely sure what's causing this bit of lagging all of a sudden here and there. I can't seem to find any potential cause for it. Another attempt to hit target with this point. Better, but most basically allows us to escape the situation because there's nothing sort of we'll deal with. The infantry sort of bleeding out here for Andres at the moment. They're under the fire there from the Americans. And again, two Shermans still here available. Andres really basically just waiting for the Tiger, but it's a very slow process. At the very least, you could have tried and thrown in a fuel cache to sort of at least make up for it a bit there. It's being pushed off. You got a pack for it. They find a way to sort of make fight a bit more of a solid base of fire there versus all those tanks here that Barney's throwing about. He's actually surprisingly like there the infantry in comparison to Andres. Surprisingly not an infantry. There they go. Panzer down to fire again for the Sherman. Other one getting closer there as well. Tavecchi. 2 good hits then for the Panzer Grenadiers. But still, running around in the open is a bit of a risky venture. I mean, there's not really much there protecting them from a good hit there from the Sherman. Cover at the very least makes them harder to hit there for the tanks, which is a boon. But at the moment, seems like Anders is not too interested in that.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Sherman in there from the north. Another re-echelon's coming up there on the way for him to cross. Good hit there. Target weak point. Target's a weak point.
Our supply lines.
And there you go, knocked out. At the same time, there was another Sherman in there, so probably that wouldn't have worked out there. He should have pulled it back further initially and repaired it. There you go. Time actually here for the mid-game analysis. Current situation for Andres is looking rather bleak, to put it mildly. He's got lots of pantry, he's got a pack 4, but at the same time, he's lost Lugi. The opponent still has plenty of infantry, he has several tanks. I mean, and he's always got most of the map. He's always got most of the victory points. Overall, there's a massive advantage here for Ltbaumy in most ways. Of course, the question is, Ltbaumy basically sort of how to translate into a further actual battlefield advantage. Of course, he does have a few options. One option is to be sort of trying to lay down some fighting positions, but with all the Pantrix, that might not work. He'll probably be off trying to translate it into a tech advantage, go for some armor, then throw in some Scots maybe to sort of support these 8. Or maybe a Jackson's obviously he's going to sort of expect a Tiger soon enough, in which case a Jackson would be a very good addition there to his armoured component, which only help with the Tiger a lot more, but otherwise Scots would be a good addition there for help with the infantry and any sort of anti-tank weapons that might arrive as well. Can bombard, but can also use to lay down some smoke from there to sort of make it harder for and sort of get any use there out of his anti-tank guns as an example. A few BARs there could also be an addition there to his rifles, sort of increase the firepower that way versus Andres. I mean, overall he needs to sort of consider expanding his economy a bit more into some structures and the likes. Another option would actually be just going for them 20 and begin laying down mines in preparation for the Tiger. If he could draw it into that, that would also be pretty neat. So I mean, there are several options there for Ltbaumy. The question is merely which one does he take. For Andres, he needs to wait, of course, for that Tiger. I mean, he's basically pigeonholed him into that situation now. So of course he's got no option but to get the Tiger by now, and he needs to be careful with it. I mean, one wrong move and he could easily get knocked out here. What with bazookas, EC8s, and there's always the easy response there for Jackson there from Ltbaumy as well. So there are a lot of dangers there for one Tiger there from Andres in particular, since he's not got necessarily that much to support it with. But if he can play it correctly, sort of keep support with everything, he could sort of hopefully draw Ltbaumy into some very bad engagement, then sort of do some damage, wipe some units out and knock out the tanks. In that regard, he might want to consider, instead of running out with his Panzergrenadiers and sort of try and flank in there while the Tiger engage from the front, this ship Panzergrenadiers moving in, hit them from the side, and perhaps that way sort of knock them out. Otherwise, he needs to regain fuel. He also needs to regain victory points. Otherwise, he could very quickly end up losing this, what with the 3 victory point advantage there to Ltbaumy at the moment. So they're definitely a long challenge ahead here for Andres if he wants to win. I mean, he's not necessarily done himself a lot of favours. A half-track could also be good. It sort of help him maintain a bit more of a solid unit presence without having to constantly run back for reinforcement. Another option could be a frontline command bunker. Otherwise, he needs to do something about that. He needs to sort of be better at holding terrain here versus Ltbaumy. Another MD42 in that extension could be a good idea in the longer run. But let's return to the fight and see what happens.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. Enemy contact!
Panzer is moving hit. They're straight into the line of 10, and we got these here opening as well. Few hits there, got pack 40 joining up, and there goes. He can take another hit there. Eventually 2 though, but already low on health. Panzer needs to retreat. Low on health as well. Pioneer inside the building. He needs to get out of that building. It's about to collapse. We got a smoking laid down there. Got another hit in the EC8. Good. And he used the other one to actually cover up the first one. Interesting. MD40 pushing out there, but he needs to get the Pioneers out of there unless he fancies them getting entombed. small engagement down here. We've got Decisive versus Rifleman. They are not setting up to fire that machine set. They're running straight up, allowing me here some easy kills there for Baumy before he retreats himself. That was a rather risky thing there. Had he popped a grenade there, I mean, Baumy could probably done a lot more damage there to Andres. Might even wiped the unit, so that was a bit lucky there. If anything, that Baumy just sort of hit retreat. Bit of a shootout here between Panzer Grenadiers versus Rifleman. Pack 40 joining in, hoping to collapse that church and everyone in it. Tanks pulled back there for repairs. We've got the reactionals joining in.
Under fire!
Taking the south away, not heading northwards, but actually heading southwards there. Almost the door force in the north. That turns out to be a good decision there from Andres. Only for too much, sort of trying to screen off the Rifleman there. Nothing further going on here. Again, he's getting ever closer to the Tiger. He's got the fuel. Now he just needs the manpower for it. He just needs the manpower. Of course, the question is, what will Baumy do? Will he actually take up, or what will he do? I mean, trying to aim for ejection right now, of course. Not the sensible idea. Of course, he would also just be aiming for another EC8. Of course, with all the manpower he has, he could very at least consider more caches there. Fuel caches, maybe some munitions caches as well. Both would be good. Both would be good. Down south, the lieutenant there is having a hard time. In fact, he is dead. Leaving behind the rest of the squad there to pull back in face of the Grenadier.
Operations advises a severe hold.
EC8 run down. They're going to be hitting with both Panzer Grenadier squads there. Rockets let loose there next. We see the Sherman there almost out. There you go. Panther Faust fails to penetrate, but that Sherman is barely operational. Barely operational. Still no tech up. We got. No, he's actually researching BARs now. That's interesting. Of course, you actually rarely see it when they go for rifle company, but there you go. And there you go. Veggie 2 Panzer. Oh, Veggie 3 Panzer almost denied here by the Veggie 2 Sherman. 50 cal. Oh, he doesn't even have a 50 caliber on. And there you go. Veggie 3 Panzer going to be annihilated. Not a single survivor there. That's a harsh blow there to Andres.
We have 300 points remaining.
But he keeps trying. They keep taking away territory. The center of these Pioneers here versus Rifleman. Flying there and light machine gun there, pushing those away. We got to push up here with an MG42. Bit reckless as well. There you go. Panzer Grenadiers in a bit of trouble again. Still got that shown here firing away. Closing in on Veteran 2-3. Still not 50 cover. He should actually really add a 50 cover. That would make so much more up there with his 50 cover. And there you go. Rifleman about to. Oh, Grenadiers annihilated. He retreats the Panzer through the same route as well. Oh, the Anders is taking heavy influence. He's finally got a Tiger there. We could see a wipe. There we could see a wipe. Time to 2 men. Low health. And there we go. Panzer effect dropped. Walter makes it, but that's about it. You got the Tiger tank there mobilized. Reassurance being pushed back there. Panther machine gun going up there. We got points in the centre and the north being taken. And now is the time for Andy to sort of stage a successful counter-attack if there's any. Now that he has the Tiger, of course, there's still plenty of armor there to try and counter. We actually got a major now, so the Jackson might not be too far off to sort of help deal with the Tiger. That is good for Baumy, less good for Anders. Of course, it depends to us, of course, on how Baumy actually makes use of all the armor he has. And again, before 2 added on top. Those here versus Rifleman, Grenadiers already low on health and in negative cover. There you go, the Tiger shoots, kills Danny, and there you go, Rifleman also almost wipes the entire unit. Almost, but of course he continues attacking here in the middle of a blizzard. Almost got the entire unit there wiped. Light machine guns found. There we go. Rifle squad wiped out. A victory there for Deutschland with the Tiger. 3 kills there, 3 kills. Securing the centre. The units hanging about there. Sherman moving up. Closing in on that Jackson. They've still got plenty of manpower floating. I mean, he really could go on for some more fuel caches. Assault there does not work out too well there. Heavy fire there for the Tiger. Quickly breaks up. Now we go. EC8 opening up. Both shots bounce off initially there at the 100mm thick armour on the Tiger. 40 silently creeping out. Well, silently and silently, but you get the idea. Rolling forwards here. Trying to sort of attack head on, making use of the blizzard to sort of get within range as possible without taking too much fire. There you go. At the same time, of course, also it's easier for the EC8 to penetrate the Tiger. Closing on half health there. Panzer was almost annihilated. Sherman there almost knocked out as well. There we go. Cooked up. Halfway to victory 3 there. Almost got these hit, almost got these, but there it goes, seems to be falling back there. More troops need to try and screen off things there. Now we're seeing Andrews here getting really aggressive, taking a lot of territory away from Baumy again. Tiger keeps trying there, we got gunners trying to cover here as well. Now he's pulling back the Tiger himself. And we got additional gunners and more infantry, no continuation moves. So Panzers there go to 10 taking hits, and I think that was Lieutenant quite down there, but he seems to have fallen quite shortly afterwards. No, he's still alive actually, he's the last man standing. Tiger there closing in a bit on the outside soldiers there. Bazooka's actually managed to penetrate there. Maybe that was actually the penetrate still. Either way, that Tiger's barely operational. Close to victims 1. Jackson almost done there. Jackson almost done. Got the Tiger rolling back. We got Jackson mobilised. One option now for Baumy is actually to switch out the crew there on the East and the Jackson, meaning he can get the Jackson up to high levels of veterancy much faster, which would actually help him out quite a bit there versus the Tiger. In particular, then get to veterancy, which means it has high penetration and a high rate of fire, which would definitely make short work there of the Tiger, particularly then if you add in the armor piercing rounds for increased damage. Well, higher velocity armor piercing rounds, but there you go.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Troops being pushed forward here under the command of Anders, conditioning Salford, no light machine guns for those. He needs more pioneers to fix that Tiger up, otherwise it's going to be out for some time there while Baumy brings on more units on the field and basically pushes away the rest of Anders' troops. There we go, nice hit to the Panzer Grenadiers, 25 kills there. Successfully pushing the south there, forces away Anders' troops. We got some aviations all the way down south.
Ready to deploy.
And we got another troop here mobilised by Anders to help deal with the enemy infantry.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
So no attempt, they're going for another Tiger it seems. By Anders.
The territory is out of contact.
Going here for the fuel pump, we got the shell there reacting, setting up itself in such a way that the Grenadiers are not going to have an easy time by way of retreating. Good, and there you go, Bazooka shots there, there's the Stoogie. Right, the court needs to come down. There you go, Jackson shoots away. Just shoot the rockets, and there you go, Stoogie annihilated within seconds. It's not a tank, yet Anders seemed very intent on using it like that, and of course he paid the ultimate price. That the Stoogie did. And stuff, he's not knocking out the Grenadiers here with the Sherman again. He could easily sort of move up there, shoot away, and probably kill them on retreat. Quick grenade almost gets into MD4 troop grenade, MD4 troop grenade as well. And there, got to trouble now with the EC8. They got a 50 coming on it as well now. Got a bit of on town there. There, Grenadiers almost now. He actually pulls up between there with the Panther there going off from the Grenadiers. We got the Tiger there moving ahead. Sherman needs to be careful. Needs to. Nope, fails to penetrate though. Jackson needs to move out and support as well. There we go, Jackson gets a shot through the thick armor there of the Tiger. Pat fire there from Andres. Quick shot there was the Panzer Grenadiers, very close to 53, very close. Still got the anti-tank team there. They're very low on health, but he pushes it nonetheless, and there you go, that's 53 on the EC8. Almost got the Tiger there. Ah, shots bounce, Tiger gets away, I need to take minor losses there. Panzer there, the Panzer, they almost wiped out as well. Heavy losses on both sides, both armies a bit sort of worn out, a bit exhausted, yet still fighting away. Tiger getting pushed back for repairs again. Anders really needs some more pioneers to sort of help speed it up, in particular versus the Americans who could just self-repair and at a higher pace than a single pioneer squad can repair the Tiger. Additional Panzer squad there running for Andres to try and turn the tide, it seems. Tiger, by the way, closing in on Vetchi 2, which would actually be a boon there with increased range and increased accuracy. Point out there being secured, we got the third EC they're running for Baumy. Andres still back struggling here for territory. His Tiger finds himself easily encountered at this stage. And again, it's taking ages for it to get repaired. Of course, Tigers were quite maintenance intensive. They're unlike the Panther, they were reasonably reliable mechanically if they were properly maintained, unlike the Panther, which was generally always mechanically unreliable, even when properly maintained. Fun fact there. Fun fact there. You see it coming north, we got movement there with some re-echelons. Covering the centre. Bit to the south as well.
Enemy is taking our
And there again,
territory.
before 2 spotted and burned. Panzergrenadier sneaking about. Tiger almost prepared now, almost. We've still got that anti-tank team here from Ltbaumy with the Panzerich and the bazooka. Looks like I got a fresh push. He's actually in the target there without having it fully repaired. Reckless there by Anders. Reckless. Rifles wiped out. That's harsh. I also don't think he's been using the BR despite getting them. Bit of a waste then. There you go. Jackson gains veterans 1 no armor. People after there's the Tiger. Second shot failed to penetrate. 30 kills show moving ahead there. And there you go, spotting the Grenadiers opening up. There you go, Panther is taking a hit as well. 33 kills, Panther off there. Fails to penetrate again. Wow. That Sherman seems to have been blessed with something, or it's a Hollywood Sherman. Either way, every single Panzerfaust has so far failed to penetrate. Grenadiers in the trouble, and there you go, he's hitting head again. Grenadiers being pushed away. 50 cover fire there, raking away. We've got the Tiger moving up, almost prepared now, and there you go, gets up hit with an EC8, gets up a hit. Very close to it, should get in there, of course, that would be helpful. Increased range allows the Tigers to engage further away, also being hard for any Tigers to escape, plus of course more accuracy. He could try and blitz it, but no, does not fully pursue there, does not fully pursue. We've got Jackson here hanging about. Tigers will go in here and pursue. Centre there open. Brings a sense to the north, those are obviously more open, but units here pulled back. And Tiger falls back again. But again, no further pioneers there from Andres, no further pioneers. Kein Pionieren. Ltbaumy so far can manage good map control here versus Andres. We need to do something a bit more serious to sort of turn things around. If only he'd tagged up further, he could have maybe called in some medium armor support for Tiger. But by now it's too late. Ltbaumy continues to float a lot of fuel. Manpower, I mean. No fuel catches, no nothing. He's sort of trying to offset some of that or get some more in. A bit disappointing there by Ltbaumy, a bit disappointing. Tiger gets off and kills there, forcing another reaction unit there to be trained down. We got Veteran 2 on the Tiger, Veteran 2, increased range, decreased scatter, which means it's a lot more effective versus infantry. Versus armor, it won't have quite the same effect. Versus infantry, it will actually make it a lot more deadly. It also means the Veteran's bonus really won't affect the MD since that doesn't actually affect it. Well, scatter doesn't affect the MD, so a little fun fact there as well. There you go, Jackson's open up. Still not using armor picks arms there, still not using harm. And there we go, though, uses them. But does not move further. Pat 40 joining in, forcing the tanks there back a bit. Not bad, not bad. There we go. Veteran T3. That's actually bad news there for any of Ltbaumy's armor. High rate of fire, high penetration. And he's getting a regular Sherman out, getting a regular Sherman. Some units would have had sort of companies with different tanks, though generally the companies themselves were not mixed with some with low velocity guns and high velocity guns, but generally, you know, they might have one company of the lower ones, one company of the higher velocity, and so on. They generally tried to take on to the Sherman with the low velocity gun because they were better versus infantry. And that was actually one thing the Americans really feared, that was a German with a Panzerfaust hiding somewhere. Rather than push back here by Grenadiers and Panzers, they actually not upgraded them, that's interesting, that's interesting. And before to the Veteran 2, no incendiary rounds there, that could help him, that could help him. Tiger still being repaired with only one pioneer, come on Andres, it's not effective. Get at least 2, preferably 3. But now we do note here there's a large armoured advantage in terms of numbers to Ltbaumy. He's got 3 Shermans, 2 EC8s amongst them, and 1 Jackson there. Quite a few of them Veteran as well, versus 1 Tiger and 2 Pack 40s, 1 Veteran 3 though, which is not to be taken lightly either. Some Panzer Grenadiers, and we've got a Grenadier squad here with the bazooka as well. Why do I always get to carry the bazooka? I don't want to. It's heavy. And it smells of bacon and not the good stuff, it's cheap American stuff. And it's Tiger firing away there, 29 kills. Hartmann fighting away there for Deutschland. crushing the terrain beneath its sheer weight. Looks like though, of course, I mean, he makes a lot of noise in that regard. Ltbaumy is actually hearing and he's sort of preparing for it. Of course, at the same time, I mean, I'm just setting up other meshes to support the Tiger. Victory point wise, it's actually looking pretty bad there for Andres. He's down to 52 versus 366 for Ltbaumy. And there you go, more kills of the Sherman. 35. Lieutenant there, a lot of trouble. Tiger though, re-exposed. Oh. Aren't entirely sure he's moving about like that, but that definitely actually missed a huge opportunity of serious damage to the Lieutenant. Armor strike south, they're in trouble. We could see a wipe, and there we go. Grenadiers annihilated. Pack 40 actually annihilated as well. Now that one is huge. That was the veteran free Pack 40 crew there annihilated. That's a huge blow right there to Andres. And there you go. Jackson though, poorly handled there as well. Veteran 2 minutes too late now. We got some more shots down the Tiger. Halfway towards veteran. Not halfway, but 40 minutes to veteran 3. Taking more Pack 40 up, Sherman needs to get away. Veteran 3 Sherman could try and flank about here, get the Pack 40s from behind. Almost got the Sherman there, almost got the Sherman, the other Sherman pulled away, and there we go, EC8 knocked out here. Now it's halfway to Veteran 3, now it's halfway, and there we go, more shots, there we go. Sherman also knocked out, Panther can in return, annihilated. That was another pair of Panther they lost. We got rockets flying against the Tiger's rear. Machine gun fire there, pummeling away. Lieutenant taking losses. Another rocket there hitting, turning the frontal arm there towards. We got Blitzkrieg there, Blitzkrieg. Tiger almost knocked out, Almost got Lieutenant grenades on the Pack 40s. The Pack 40s are desperately in trouble. Tiger almost knocked down. There you go, both American units end up retreating. Pack 40 left behind. He needs more pioneers now to quickly repair that Tiger. And if only that Sherman was to sort of flank in now, he could actually get it. But so far, it seems like he's actually pulled back the Sherman, or is actually engaging here from the front, which seems a bit reckless as well. In fact, might drive straight into the Pack 40 there. But if you get that Tiger to Victory 3, that would be very good there for Andres, since I mean, have a higher range from Victory 2, but also the high rate of fire there from Victory 3, plus more mobility, which would definitely make it a lot more of a nasty customer. We got another Jackson there on the way. Another Panther Faust. This time, though, it finally penetrates. Captain Pitt enjoying his Sherman right there so far. Only 4-2 securing the north. Jackson almost ready. Grenadiers holding out in the ship that's about to collapse. They might want to because they're getting out there. I mean, they're not really going to do much. And all the windows are pointing away from where the Americans are going to attack from. And there's don't do it. There you go. Escapes the ready to collapse building. And there you go. Grenade again. Ah, Decisive. Jet collapses. Grenadiers were wiped out by a grenade. And this is completely falling apart now. Guns have been forced away as well by a large American force. 30 kills on that Lieutenant. 30 kills. And wrecking the Pack 40. Not securing it himself, interestingly enough.
That's everywhere. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Securing the northern victory point there again, increasing the lead there versus Andres, who's still only relying on the single pioneer squad to repair the Tiger. I mean, I have a Propagandacast there for that, you know. Again, usually when it comes to heavy armor, get at least 2 pioneer squads, preferably 3 or engineer squads to repair your heavier armor. And otherwise it's going to take too long and you're basically going to a Tiger, sending out there for numerous minutes doing nothing.
Standing by.
Lieutenant annihilated, very close to victory, very close, but also low in health. And looks like here, Ltbaumy senses blood, he smells blood. Victory point going to tick down there. Jackson gets a hit through there, eventually 2 Tiger. EC8 Dogs getting a good hit there. Can he get the he could flank it, get behind the Tiger. Leaves the job here to the accident, it's 91 with a gun. Almost got the Tiger there, almost got it. Pioneers wiped out, 9 points left. Almost got the Tiger, he does not pursue. We got another Tiger that actually managed to arrive for Andres, but this time it's too late. And there you go, he's hitting hit, there we go, Tiger wiped out. He pulls a Brad Pitt there, and there you go, game over. A loss there for Andres, a victory there for Ltbaumy. In terms of strategy, not the most interesting fight. I mean, Andres, I think, rather, again, pigeonholed a bit too much. They were just relying on the doctrine too much. There was sort of no caches, no real other anything there. The Panthers worked to a certain extent, but he also kept using them poorly, kept running around in the open, which did make them easy targets there for the EC8s, and Ltbaumy did seize upon it several times. So I think had Andres, actually gone for some medium armor of the non-doctrinal kind, maybe like a half-tech or some panzergrenades without panzergrenades a bit earlier, he might have done a bit better, and some fuel caches would definitely also help him out there versus Ltbaumy. I mean, he made some good tactical plays, but at the same time he had a bit of a hard time sort of fully exploiting them, or sort of, not sometimes also makes some really poor ones, which for example end up losing that MG4 too early on and handing it over to the enemy. That definitely hurt. For Ltbaumy, again, not the most original strategy. Maybe good use of the EC8s, make good use of the Jacksons. I want to see sort of switch there between the Jackson and the EC8 there with the crew there to get a victory with 3 Jackson very quickly. That might have been able to finish off that Tiger a lot sooner. But overall, he played nice and aggressively. He could have made more fuel caches as well. But beyond that, not really so much else to comment on. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in me some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Ding. Cheers and thank you for watching. Bye.